All right, let's dive into a really fascinating story. In what seems like just another quiet, unsuspecting village, a supernatural conflict is about to boil over. But, this isn't your typical good versus evil kind of battle. Today, we're getting into the mystery behind a pretty wild clash between a Jinn and a witch. I mean, it's the kind of question that sounds like it's straight out of some ancient folklore, right? But for one particular village, this became a terrifying reality. And believe me, the outcome of this supernatural showdown is probably not at all what you're thinking. So, our story kicks off in a village that's just gripped by fear. The peace they once knew, it's gone, replaced by this creeping dread because all these strange and unsettling things are happening, and nobody has a clue why. You can just imagine the tension in the air. This once peaceful community is now completely trapped in this cycle of chaos. Every single time the sun goes down, a whole new wave of anxiety washes over everyone because they feel totally powerless against whatever this thing is. And we're not just talking about a vague, spooky feeling here. Oh no, the terror was very real. You had fires just spontaneously erupting in the streets. Shadows were literally twisting and moving like they had a mind of their own. And these awful, disembodied sounds would just echo through the night. This place was living through a full-blown haunting. But even with all this despair, two friends, Arjun and Pooja, they just refused to sit back and watch it happen. They felt like they had to do something for their community, so they decided they were going to uncover the truth, no matter what the risk was. And that decision right there is where the investigation really begins. While pretty much everyone else was paralyzed by fear, Arjun and Pooja, they decided to face this mystery head on. This was the big question driving them. Was it a curse, some kind of monster, or something else entirely? They knew the only way to bring peace back to their home was to find out what was really going on. So, fueled by some serious courage, they started piecing together the clues. They actually went into the places where the hauntings were the worst, the very spots everyone else was too terrified to even go near. And what their investigation led them to? Well, it was more incredible than anything they could have possibly imagined. Turns out, the chaos wasn't being caused by one entity. It was two. That's right, all of it. The fires, the moving shadows, all that chaos, it was just the collateral damage from a massive, fierce battle between a powerful Jinn and an equally formidable witch. And right here, this is the heart of the whole problem. You've got two huge supernatural forces just locked in this furious battle. And you'd assume the reason would be something epic, right? Like some ancient grudge or a timeless fight between good and evil. But the real reason was just a misunderstanding. I mean, just think about that for a second. An epic war terrifying an entire village was started by the same kind of simple mistake that might cause an argument between you and a friend. A basic failure to communicate had somehow escalated into all-out supernatural warfare. It's kind of crazy. So, once Arjun and Pooja figured this out, they knew that fighting fire with fire wasn't going to work. They needed a much smarter approach, one that was all about diplomacy, not war. This led them to a really crucial insight. They realized the problem couldn't be solved with power, but with perception. I mean, they couldn't overpower a Jinn or a witch, that's for sure. So instead, they had to go after the root cause, the misunderstanding itself, and try to change how these two powerful beings saw each other. So they came up with this brilliant three-step plan. First, they approached each being separately just to listen to their side of the story, which, let's be honest, took some serious guts. Second, once they had both perspectives, they acted as go-betweens to carefully untangle the misunderstanding. And finally, they actually brought the two sides together to mediate a truce, building peace right from the heart of the conflict. But you have to wonder, right? Would a brave and clever plan like that actually work on these incredibly powerful forces? The fate of the entire village was literally hanging in the balance. And the answer was a huge, resounding yes. It worked. By choosing diplomacy over force, Arjun and Pooja did what seemed impossible. The battle between the Jinn and the witch just stopped, and the terror that had been choking the village, it vanished, almost like it had never even been there. What's amazing is that this solution was good for everyone. The Jinn found peace, the witch found understanding, and most importantly, the villagers got their home back.
It was a true win-win-win situation.
So the fires went out, the shadows went back to just being shadows, and those terrifying sounds were replaced by the simple, gentle quiet of the night. The village was safe again, all because of the wisdom and courage of two friends.
So, what's the big takeaway here? This story shows us a really powerful truth. Even the scariest, most epic conflicts, like a supernatural war holding a village hostage, can start from the smallest of things, a simple misunderstanding. It's a huge reminder that sometimes the most complicated problems don't need a bigger sword. They just need a better ear.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How many fights in our own lives, big or small, are just like this supernatural war, fueled not by some deep-seated hatred, but by a simple failure to communicate? Maybe the most powerful magic we have is just taking the time to truly understand each other.